If you don't know what your long-term goals are, it's going to be really hard to align that daily schedule that she's talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast. Today's show is going to be hacks that can help you crush the quarantine. But instead of listening to my talking head like you guys always do, we've got one of my favorite people in the whole world on the line right now, and she's going to be giving you some of her favorite hacks that she's using. I'm just going to give her a little Q&A. But we've got Simra on, one of my favorite clients. We worked together in 2018 was when we did our private training. And I think that was like an 8-week private training program. She got into phenomenal shape. And along that journey, we created a really good bond, which we do with a lot of clients here at Topline. And she's a Top Shop faithful. But she's really smart. She's got a lot of great things to offer. And she's one of those types of people who has the energy, and you can feel her energy, whether you're just hanging out with her in person or whether you're following her on social media or you're just having a conversation with her. So make sure that you give her the follow, because she's one of those people who always put some bright light into your day. And those are the only people I really like to hang around at the end of the day, is positive people who find solutions and have a ton of potential. And that's definitely her. But she's also from a different generation, because I'm 33 years old, about to be 34 in June, and you're 22. So she's still at an age where you actually say your age, so you know she's young. All right, because in like 4 or 5 years, you're gonna maybe be like, don't ask me that question. But right now, she's young enough to do so. So she's gonna give you some fresh perspective. Maybe I'll share a little insight of mine, but I really want to be able to let her have the stage here. So the first question I have: what 3 things are you doing right now on a daily basis that are keeping you positive and that are keeping your spirits uplifted?
Absolutely.
Little or big?
Okay, so first thing that I do is when I wake up in the morning, always make your bed. I think having a bed made is seriously like one of the best ways to start your day. You already feel like you accomplished something. And then before I even eat or anything, after I kind of get ready in the morning, I write down my goals for the day. So I love goal writing, and I thank you for that as well. Definitely instilling that a little bit more and pushing me to do that. So I write my goals for the day. So writing down, all right, I need to work for my internship. I need to film this video, schedule this podcast, whatever it is, and then making sure I incorporate workout as well. So definitely writing my goals, and then working out. That would be probably my second one. And my first one was, I guess, making my bed in the morning.
Yep.
So making my bed, writing my goals, and working out. So definitely have been helping me stay just really active in the day and keeping my brain fresh.
I love it. Now you guys can probably see why I love Simra so much, because we're on the same page with a lot of things. Now I have 2 questions off of that, what you just said. I think you glazed over one important thing. You said that after you make your bed in the morning, and then after you get ready, you write your goals down. But I think that that's one thing you can't skip over, and that's what I just mentioned to you before we started this show, is you're waking up and you're getting ready. How does that make you feel when you wake up, instead of just, farting around all day and, not that it's not okay to be comfortable, but you're still getting up and you're getting ready so you can kind of be, suited up for the day. Like Superman doesn't go out and save people in his pajamas, he puts on his cape. So talk about that for a second.
Yeah, I personally love getting ready. It's one of my favorite things to do. It makes me feel like I'm attacking my day just as I would normally outside of quarantine. It's such a different time for everyone, so I think it's important for us to stick to our routine. And so getting ready today is something that I usually do anyway, so it makes me feel good. I feel like I'm prepared. So
yeah, I like that. And then the last thing, when you said that you work out every day, I know you came and picked up a Topline survival kit. Obviously you don't have access to like the Top Shop and all the equipment or things like of that nature. So how long do you think that your workouts are right now? And even though you don't have a lot of access to equipment, you're still moving. So, you know, tell the listeners out there, like a little encouragement, I think, on that. Because me as a strength coach, maybe they're like, oh, this guy, of course, he works out and he knows what he's doing. Well, I don't know what I'm doing. I know you're a client and you obviously have the inside edge because you know what to do. But what encouragement could you give for people out there who maybe aren't training as much?
Yeah. So number one, there's no excuses. You can easily get outside if the weather is nice. I mean, sun has been out lately, and I know it kind of gets chilly once in a while, but definitely get outside. You can go on a walk, even if you don't have any equipment. I know that like my family isn't huge into using equipment, so we like to go on a walk or, you know, hoop around a little bit. But I've been trying to get outside if I can. Otherwise, YouTube, easy workouts. It's so easy to do
Right.
body weight workouts. You can use your own body to body weight to work out. So it's definitely, I mean, there's no excuses. So I love spending at least 30 minutes in my day. So I try to do like a full hour workout, whether that's like with my survival kit from Topline or just my body weight.
Love it.
There's so many good ones on YouTube as well. So.
I love it. Now, you mentioned hooping. So let's segue into the next thing. I know that you're an intern for the Milwaukee Bucks, and obviously their season had to be cut short right now. How has that affected that internship, and what types of things are you still able to do, or what types of things are you filling your time with on more of your professional side and some of your other personal goals to still stay active out there? Because I think a lot of people are retreating right now and throwing up their hands saying, I can't do anything, and that's not the right mindset.
Yeah, I'm taking this kind of as if, you know, quarantine all of a sudden ends, I need to be ready to get back out there, right? So for me personally, professional development is so important. So my hours with the Bucks have cut back a lot.
Right.
Obviously, I'm not working game nights, I'm not working those away games. So we're doing a lot of social analytics on the back end. So coming up with content ideas, doing some analytical stuff, just to be prepared for the future. But then away from that, because my hours are cut back, I have been filling my time otherwise with my professional development. So I've been working on building my resume even further, you know, trying to get more content out there to build my personal brand. I've been trying to learn Spanish in my free time.
Hey, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
So I've been trying to, you know, build upon my skills because especially since I'm graduating in May, I'm almost done with school. So it's a time for me to take advantage of like building upon my skill set when I have this extra time.
Right. It's an opportunity.
Yeah. I got to stay on top of it. And I'm only improving myself, and I don't find any sort of happiness in like just sitting around and doing nothing. Like I'm not someone who loves, like nothing against watching TV and whatever.
Right.
But just personally, like I love filling my time with other things.
I like it. Well, I think that's what you said. You can't just waste the opportunity. It is an opportunity for you to improve and get better. That's how you crush the quarantine, is looking at solutions that you guys can find. Now, are we going to see a steep decline in Giannis's performance now that you're not able to coach him every day and teach him how to play the game? Or is,
hope not.
Okay, because I know you were the one who was teaching him how to dunk and how to do all the great things he does on the court.
That's what I do. No, the players also have been really good about like, you know, staying on top of their training and stuff as well.
Right.
Which is really, really awesome. Pat Connaughton is a huge real estate mogul.
Okay.
I look up to him a lot because he's not just about, they always say like, it's not just about sports. It's like you need to build upon your skill set outside of that as well. So I am always watching his social media because he's always posting about his business tips and like what he's been doing outside of that. So that's just a huge thing for people to remember, is that you don't just have like one job.
Right.
You definitely build upon other skills because it's a competitive world out there. And when you get out there, you know, for me, like I'll be competing with people who are laid off from their jobs and the kids who are graduating. So I have to, you know, stay on top of it and have my game ready. Like,
yeah, you have to be able to separate yourself from the pack. I think that's cool. And I think it's cool to hear that other professional athletes, professional basketball players are still, they're not just using it as an excuse to, again, retreat. They're keeping their skills sharp. They're also venturing into other things. And I think that's the cool part now. Like you said with your Spanish, is you're able to try something different. And maybe some of the things that you were doing every day that you were like doing, you're like, you know, maybe I don't want to do that, or maybe it wasn't really good for me. I touched on that on another show. So I think that's cool to get outside your comfort zone a little bit, try some different things that you don't normally have time for. And then my last question for this show would be, I'm making this one up on the fly, What would your advice be to the people out there right now who just, no matter how many positive videos they've heard, no matter how many little 60-second videos they've watched or had a family member try and encourage them, what type of encouraging words would you have for some people out there who are really struggling right now? Maybe they're not even struggling so much on the financial side of things or the job side, but they're just really struggling with dealing with having to be packed away in their house, or maybe they're alone a lot. What would you say to someone like that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame them. It is hard to stay motivated, but like I said, I think there's almost no excuse. I think that you have to like take a step back if you're really struggling and think about, okay, well, what do I want my future to look like? We're not going to be in quarantine forever, hopefully, and
Right.
you have to think, okay, well, when I'm done with this situation, where do I want to be, and how am I actually going to get there? You're not going to get to your goals if you're just going to sit around and do nothing. So it's almost, there is a lot of like self-motivation that comes into play, and you have to really push yourself. And I tell this to so many of my friends and my family, like that have been struggling with, you know, oh, I really don't know how you're doing it. Like, how are you just staying on top of it? And I'm telling them, like, it all comes from within yourself, and you have to make goals. Like, make a goal, even if it's just one goal. Like, oh, I want to do this when I'm outside of quarantine. Well, how are you going to get there?
Right. Right, and then that has a lot to do with what you said you do every morning, which is you write out your daily goals. And I think to add on to that, for people out there who are really struggling, write your daily goals like Simra's telling you to do. That's super important. It will really lock you in for the day mentally. But beyond that, know what your overarching purpose is of those goals. So if you don't have those big, like Simra's saying, she has long-term goals, and then you have daily goals. If you don't know what your long-term goals are, it's going to be really hard to align that daily schedule that she's talking about, waking up, committing to doing it, writing it down on paper, and I think that that's super important. I love that advice. I mean, it's right on the head, it's really short and sweet, and it's really impactful. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am glad that you guys are able to tune in with us today. Simra, the wonderful Simra, she has so much to offer in terms of that positive thinking and that positive motivational mindset. And again, she said it comes from within. And I think that's super important. So I hope you guys took something away from it. I'm going to let Simra close out the show because I get to do it all the time. I want you to like give your last remarks to everybody out there who got a chance to watch this. Maybe this will be our 60-second Instagram cut. So what would you have to say to the people out there right now to crush the quarantine, to crush their fears, whatever it is? What would you have to say?
I would say, first of all, no excuses. Second, stay positive. And third, find a purpose. Easy 3.
Simple. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. Keep your mind right. Make sure you have some targets and continue getting after it. Even if this video comes out on a Friday or comes out on a Wednesday and the week's getting a little long, stay after it, stay committed, and we'll see you guys soon.